episode of Jay's Exotics, brought to you by Jay Rogers, right here, me. So, before I start, this is going to be my monthly blog, hopefully beginning every month. I will show you what it is to take the business to a different level. Now, before I start anything, I got to apologize. I haven't been putting out new content for a while now. And a couple of reasons are, the business has been taking off, so breeding has become kind of like my full-time job, so it's a lot harder than I actually thought. I spend 8 hours on a Monday, Wednesday, and Friday just sanitizing tubs, feeding everything. So I spend a lot of my time doing that when I'm not, dealing with the pets and feeding everything and filling in orders on my website that I started up. So it's been a lot of work, and I love it. I'm glad that I can do something that I'm passionate about and something that I actually don't think that people thought that it was a way to make a living, because a lot of people think it's mostly a hobby, and right now it is a hobby, but the hobby's feeding itself, if that makes sense. So another reason behind it, you guys could be wondering why I'm holding a Sharpie, and the reason that I'm holding a Sharpie is that this is another reason why I didn't make that new content, and it is my fault. I let people get to me and so on. So if you look back in the different videos, if you haven't looked at it, I can put the link up above, is that I put out a video on how to incubate crested gecko eggs. And a lot of people commented it that I marked my eggs with a Sharpie. Now, that they were saying, a lot of people said that it was poisonous to the crested geckos, that I shouldn't be doing it, and so on. And okay, so when I went to school, a lot of people don't know, I originally went to school for biology. I wanted to I wanted to be a vet tech of some sort, and I wasn't sure what I want to do with my life, so I went to school for biology for most of my time after I majored in exercise science. When I was taught how to deal with eggs, and I worked with some turtle species in school, and some turtle species, I used a Sharpie to mark them on top, and this is how I learned, and that's how a lot of herpetologists that I know, a lot of zoos, actually use Sharpies, because it's a permanent and so on. Now, I try to find in the internet, I looked at different places, trust me, I looked. There's no instances anybody is saying that Sharpies are poisonous to any reptile. I've seen people use nail polish and do the same thing, and it has a lot more chemicals. Not to mention, if you use lead, it's still a foreign substance that you're putting on an egg. So even if you're using a pencil, it's still a foreign substance. So, whether there's facts or not, the fact is that people were mean and people were spiteful. And I don't think people realize that I'm not getting paid for making YouTube videos. Maybe in one day I hope I do make a little bit of money on YouTube, but that takes money that I'm putting out for free so people can have content and people learn a little bit more about the reptile hobby. And it takes time that time is precious. And I don't think people are appreciative enough. And instead of they just put mean comments on the things, and it got to me. I'm like, why am I doing this for free if people are being, a-holes pretty much, like they're being mean. I don't care if you leave a bad comment because that's your opinion, but the fact that you're taking time out of your day to be mean for something that you didn't really do the research as much. And believe it or not, some of these people that left mean comments are other fellow people in the reptile business. So that, to me, was detrimental. It really just hurt my feelings, and I took it personal, which is my fault, not everyone else's. But this is the reasons why, some days I'm like, okay, why am I putting YouTube videos? So I stopped for a while and kind of contemplated doing different things, concentrated on the business, and I'm really happy to say, I'm very excited what this business came in. I started in June and try to make a better, try to make my company to where I actually go out and sell my hatchlings and so on, and see if I was actually be able to make it. And after 6 months, after June, it's been done. Most of my sales were before that were in the internet. fellow friends, fellow people that are in the business. And now me actually meeting people has been amazing. Like I met great people. It just made me love things more. You know, love the hobby, love, you know, that my hatchlings are out there and they're making future, you know, herpetologists or, you know, people that are just interested in, you know, in reptiles. So the Sharpie was one of them. Another one was that, you know, to give you a little bit of background on me, I grew up in Puerto Rico. My dad was originally from here, but I grew up in Puerto Rico, and so I speak 2 languages, English being my second language. So I do have a slight accent, so people were just making fun of how I pronounce perlite or perlite. Actually, I don't even know how it's really pronounced because, you know, people just leave nasty comments instead of just like, hey, it's pronounced this way. Which actually one person commented that way, but it's fine. It's just that, you know, people, I don't know, people taking time out of their day to be mean. It's kind of like, I don't know. It's kind of like, just, I don't know. It's just, I don't even know how to pronounce, like what to call it. It's just people shouldn't be mean to anyone. They should be nice to someone. Okay? So, the other thing that I want to mention is a lot of people don't realize that most of the things that I sell at Crested Geckos is my passion. And throughout this 6 months, what I realized a lot of people are getting out of the Crested Gecko business. Pretty much like they don't want to breed Crested Geckos because it's a lower end pet, pretty much because I sell a lot of hatchlings and I don't like to overprice my hatchlings. The adults, I price them accordingly because I'm taking time and effort, and if I prove one out, of course they're going to be sold accordingly. But a lot of my hatchlings is sold, you know, affordable price that kids and parents can afford them, and so on. So I have different ranges. So if someone wants a $30 Crested Gecko, I have that. If someone wants a high-end $300 gecko, I also carry that. So I price mine accordingly, but I find like people are just giving some of the Crested Geckos away just to get out of the business, which is kind of like hurting other Crested Gecko that are actually breeders that are actually good and provide really good quality breeding stock. So it's I found like it's a catch-22. But you know, I'm gonna stick with it. Ironically, my Crested Geckos are actually feeding my other hobbies that I'm actually getting into. So, you know, I got into Cuban false chameleons this year. A friend of mine couldn't keep them because they didn't have the space, so I got them. I also got, you know, different things. I got chameleons, and I actually started breeding chameleons, which hopefully, you know, cross my fingers, I'll be successful at it. But each species is a little bit different. This year I also bought some Lichianas. So, and then slowly bringing up the business where I want it to be. I'm also providing different types of products that people are looking for. So, you know, I've been, you know, going, you know, my way in, you know, trying to provide more things and so on that I can provide for you. The other thing that I'm going to provide is just harder to find in items. Like, you know, I just bought, you know, liners to prevent mites so we're going to make fly cultures, which is actually really hard to find. So I found a couple companies that actually make it, and I'm going to be carrying that too. So what's new? One thing, it's my logo. I love my logo. It's a new logo. If people don't know, I'm going to go through the story in a different blog about what that gecko actually is. He kind of looks like a Crested Gecko, but he quite not. But there's a story behind it, and it's actually kind of funny. And I'm gonna actually, if you look at my business cards, is actually the gecko on the business cards. So that's a story for another blog. Also, my website, check down below on the link, jaceexotics.com, which is I merge all of my companies, like my first pet reptile, my first pet tortoise, and Jace Exotics, and I merged them all together. Originally, they were all separate companies. One was more educational with kids and so on, which is my first pet reptile. And then, you know, then I actually decided that I was like, okay, well, it doesn't make sense that I'm running 3 different companies, like Apartment Bonsai, which is my plant company. I sell bonsais, trees, vivarium supplies, and so on. And I felt like it was like everywhere. So right now, a new website, jaceexotics.com, with a new logo, Jace Exotics and Botanicals. And of course, I have my new email, j@jexotics.com. So all my links will be below if you need to contact me, need to find something, so on. And then, you know, a piece of advice that I tell people, like, I want to make sure that you love what you do. Because, you know, if you don't love it, what's the point of it? That's the reason why I thought maybe YouTube wasn't for me. But then I realized that I do love what I do, and I shouldn't let comments of different people go and, you know, deter me from what I should do and then what I should help other people. And then the other thing that it is like, you know, I don't care. I guess I shouldn't really care what people think of it, as long as I provide good content, really good content, and that will be it. So, okay guys, so thanks for listening to my rant. I'm gonna give out little vlogs once a month at least. Eventually I want to take them to weekly vlogs and show you what I do. I'm going to take you through my reptile room tour, because I just redid it, built new shells, I got new bins, and I built my own rack systems. So it's been going good, and I'm excited for it. So, alright, until next time, you know, thank you for watching Jay's Exotics, pet and plant care made simple. And love you guys. Do what you love.